We are learning more about the shooter. He is said to have entered or at least approached the back of the church from the outside with both, according to the authorities, a rifle and a handgun, and opened fire through the glass windows on the children inside, obviously shooting more than just children there. As you heard, at least 2 adult victims were brought to that hospital alone. We believe that there were as many as 20 victims total. The numbers have changed a bit, as they obviously will continue to once the authorities get their arms around exactly who was hit and what hospitals they went to. We'll get a final number. This man was busy posting on his social media this morning. It appears to have populated on his YouTube feed, which has now been taken down, but we got there before it was, during what would have been the time of the shooting. But obviously, we have a large YouTube presence, and you generally schedule your shows, your posts to appear when you want them to. You know, it's not that my executive producer is sitting there at 5 o'clock when he presses publish on YouTube. He sets the show to publish at the time that it publishes every day, and that's very possible. In any event, we have confirmed his name. It's not important. You don't need to know his name, and they've taken down his social media anyway, but we're going to show it to you. And this does appear to be somebody who was experiencing some sort of gender dysphoria. He has long red hair. He's very unattractive, which is not surprising. And he's, among other things, posted an LGBTQ flag. Next to it, he wrote, "Defend equality." Here is the notebook where he has "Defend equality" on top of a pride flag there. That's not the only thing. There is clearly a desire. There's another phrase, by the way, in his writings, "Why so queer us?" A lot of this doesn't make sense, but why so queer, Queer, like queer, us. And then there are writings over guns and over the magazines that one would insert in a gun that have a number of obvious possible motives that are referenced, like hold on, I'm trying to read my own writing. "Where is your God?" Extra Jew gas, "Israel must fall," "Kill Donald Trump," RIP, and tear, TEAR, maybe it's tear, I don't know what that means. "Humanity is overrated," "Nothing ever happens." So he's clearly focused on, looks like, those who believe in God. He's got another, like a target you would use and shoot at during target practice, which has a picture of Jesus Christ. Now it's starting to make some sense. The target he chose, what was on his mind. I think I mentioned one of the writings on either the guns or the ammos read, "Fuck everything," that, and then the next word is cut off. The beginning of it is stand, like maybe the word was stands. We can only see STAN, F everything, that's Stan. And that's about all we've seen thus far, though we're going through it because we did manage to capture the 2 YouTube videos that he posted before YouTube took them down, which is probably another indicator that, I mean, I've confirmed the name of the shooter, and this is the shooter's YouTube page. Potentially there's another person by this name that is also obsessed with guns and killing children and pictures of Jesus and targets, but I'm going to go out there and say the odds are slim. Joining me now to discuss it all, Chad Ayers, founder of Proactive Response Group. Proactive Response Group's founders are well-trained veteran SWAT team leaders with firsthand experience in hostage rescues and high-risk dignitary protection. And Joe Loras, retired police officer who's currently running for U.S. Congress in Tennessee to replace Mark Green. Gentlemen, thank you both so much for being here. So let me start with you on it, Chad, because, I mean, this is a situation, we only wish it had turned into a hostage situation where there could have been negotiation before the killing took place. But in this instance, like so many others, the shooter showed up and just started firing on defenseless targets. And now it appears he did seem intent on targeting this type of group. I mean, again, a target practice with a picture of Jesus. Where is your God? I guess like trying to test, right? If God would be there. I don't know what the specific motivations were, but as I said at the top of our last hour, it does matter, but it's secondary. You know, what appears to have driven this is a sick mind, a very sick mind. Your thoughts?
I totally agree with you, Megyn, and thanks for having me again. I want to second what you say. My heart breaks for these families who are going through this today. Obviously, you know, this investigation is going to play out at Proactive Response Group. This is what we do. I am sitting in a school right now, training a school on how do you handle active shooter events. We were at a church. I know that you're a lifelong devout Catholic, and I can't imagine sitting in that pew and this taking place, and all of a sudden the worst case scenario happens. And so I'm not here today, obviously, to Monday morning quarterback these victims, but obviously it is time that we start evaluating. I was talking to Joe earlier, evaluating how we are training. Are we giving valuable, effective training on this type of situation? Because we cannot take a reactive approach. Megyn, over the last month, you know, we have seen such an increase of events like this, active shooter events. And it's time we stop checking the box on this type of training and start providing valuable, effective training, especially for our most precious that are sitting there trying to have time to worship their God and pray and meditate, you know, in mass, and the worst case scenario happens.
Yeah. Joe, I mean, look, this guy, we're going to figure out exactly what was driving him. I mean, we haven't seen one of these school shootings where the shooter wasn't on some sort of meds. 9 times out of 10, an SSRI meant to attack depression, but obviously not helping. I don't know what this guy's story is going to be, but I'm not surprised to see the trans ideology. We saw that in Nashville, Tennessee, too. And the FBI kept that secret from us. Joe Biden's FBI kept that secret from us for a year, saying we couldn't handle it. It was like, okay, we can handle it. We need to know what sort of medical cocktail was this person on, if any, and the motivations that were like the tipping, you know, point. We'll look at that. But obviously, this guy had some sort of a break. And unfortunately, the target today was Catholic children. So I don't even know where you begin other than to get a bunch of cops out there, retired cops with guns. Your thoughts on it?
Megyn, thanks for having me. I couldn't agree with you more. These delusional people are attacking our most vulnerable. Minneapolis, Minnesota as a whole, has universal background checks. They have to have permits to purchase weapons, you know, guns, shotguns, anything. Where was that? This is exactly why I'm running for Congress. This is exactly the problem that we have here in the United States. These soft on crime, defund the police. This is what happens. And I'm a father, and it scares me every day when I drop my daughter off at school, because could this be the day? And this is not the America that we should live in. This is not the America that I fought and bled for and buried my friends. Now, I'm with Chad. We need to be more proactive and call it what it is. This is delusion. The left is catering to this, and this is the outcome. And we see that in all of this politics as, you know, all this hate that's going on because our country is so divided. We need to come together as Americans and remember what's important and protect our most precious resources, which is our children.
What will the effect of the sparring between President Trump and the Federal Reserve be? Can the Fed take the right action at the right time, or are we going to be looking at a potential economic slowdown? And what does this mean for your savings? Consider diversifying with gold through Birch Gold Group. For decades, gold has been viewed as a safe haven in times of economic stagnation, global uncertainty, and high inflation. And Birch Gold makes it incredibly easy for you to diversify some of your savings into gold. If you have an IRA or an old 401k, you can convert that into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold, or just buy some gold to keep in your safe. First, get educated. Birch Gold will send you a free info kit on gold. Just text MK to the number 989898. Again, text MK to 989898 and consider diversifying a portion of your savings into gold. So if the Fed cannot stay ahead of the curve for the country, at least you can stay ahead for yourself. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.